Hi everyone, welcome to this video on the new Stable Diffusion 0.9 in Nightcafe. We're going to do some old prompts that I've done in the past, and we are going to compare it to Midjourney as well. So let's have a look. Let's just go to my collections. Let's go to some of the Alice in Wonderland stuff. It's all old stuff. Right, let's get the prompt for this. Well, isn't that a basic prompt? But let's see what happens. So let's go create SDXL 0.9. I'll tell you what, I'll do it in SDXL beta first. 16 images, we'll go widescreen, pop that up to 80. No, I'll just leave it at 50 for the time being. And away we go. Confirm that. So this is Stable Diffusion XL. Not bad. That one's pretty good. Let's have a look at that one. Yeah, that looks not too bad. Some interesting outputs, but now let's try the new one. SDXL 0.9, so this is the upgraded SDXL beta. I'll leave everything the same. Let's see what we get this time. Okay, this is the new Stable Diffusion 0.9, Stable Diffusion XL 0.9. Much more coherent. You know, look at that. You know, that's pretty accurate. So let's mess around a little bit then. Let's see, let's go back to Stable Diffusion XL beta, and we'll go into the advanced prompter and we'll add another prompt, and we'll see if we can, we'll have a look at the difference between XL and 0.9. So XL doesn't really work very well with this. So let's go inner tree psychedelic color scheme. CG Society Ultra HD 3D render. Oh, okay, and I'll put this up a wee bit, up to 2, and I'll put that up to 1.5. Right, let's see, and I'm going to put this up to 80% as well. Let's see what difference that makes, see if it makes it more coherent and gives us the additional prompt or not. So even in SDXL beta, we're getting, you know, it's pretty good. What was the full prompt again? In a tree, psychedelic colour scheme, and the rest of it. So it looks pretty good. We've got the tree. We've got the tree. It hasn't gone full psychedelic, but the trees kind of appeared, but it's still a bit weird, isn't it? And you know, it's kind of making up its own shit. So let's go again into here. I go to create. Hopefully it's remembered the prompt. It has. But we'll now change this to SDXL 0.9. Leave everything the same. Let's see where we go with this. Okay, the SDXL 0.9 is kind of gone a bit mental, really. But, you know, it's, I can see where, so for instance, let's have a look. This one here, can't see it in my, this one, you know, I can see where the psychedelic aspect is, even though I said colour scheme. It's also, that's almost like a mushroom. And you will find when you use the word psychedelic, you get a lot of mushrooms. But a cat in a tree, the cat's become the tree there. And there maybe. That's a weird looking cat, but it's like, the composition's awesome, the detail's brilliant. But of course, this is brand new. It's the first. That's a psychedelic cat up a tree, if you ask me. And so is that. So yeah, it's interesting, and the results. That's a beauty. Right. So let's try some really old prompts that I've done, and we'll try and get some different stuff going on off. So this one's a multi-prompt. So we'll go back. Why does it say 1.5 there? So SDXL 0.9, advanced prompt. So in here, we're going to put a cult gathering in an abandoned house doing a ritual. Inside of a house, gathering ritual. So I'm just going to leave it like that because that's the way the original prompt was done. And there was a second prompt, Eldritch horror. Now if you don't know who Eldritch is, I'll just get you an example of some of his images. I think he done Cthulhu and stuff like that, you know. So this is the kind of images we're looking at, and we're going here. I'll leave it on widescreen. I'll leave all of those. I'm going to put it 1:1 because I want to see what the quality is, because it's supposed to be 1080p now by default, I believe. So this is the original with that prompt, and the new SDXL. Sorry. Here, much more coherent. It's picked up on Eldritch massively because of the Cthulhu-like outputs. However, it's not really understood the inside of the house part, apart from maybe number 3, this one, which is pretty cool. But yeah, the coherence and the detail is amazing. Right, let's get another one. Okay, this was one of my favourite ones that I did. This one, because I was working, my girlfriend's got red hair, and I was working on some stuff for posters. So let's have a look what this one's like. A beautiful redhead woman, portrait image. I should have changed it to portrait, shouldn't I have? Arc 1:1 will be fine. I could have done that on maybe 3:4 or 4:3. I can't remember what one it is, but hopefully we'll get a good result. Okay, this is the original. It's basically what one was the original now? It's one of these. Yeah, that's it. So these were the original ones. The new ones are this. To me it looks more real. But the other ones were good as well, so don't, you know. So there's, I don't know what the paint on their faces is all about. Probably because I've used powder paint. And maybe Alex Hirsch. If we look at some of Hirsch's stuff. Interest. Maybe that's, yeah, I don't know what's going on there. But if I took Hirsch away, maybe it would remove that. But look at the eyes. I remember using this where you couldn't get the eyes proper about a year and a half ago. The eyes would never work. Tell me, that looks like a photograph to me. Very, very impressive. Right, let's see what the next. Right, this is a massive. This is one I was doing when I was doing loads of stuff on Buddhism. So this is a huge prompt. This one. So we've got a change, even a tiny one, in the way we manage our thoughts and perceive and interpret the world can significantly change our existence. That there is out of a book I was reading, and one of my Buddhist books. I'm very much into Buddhism, and then and that was a quote direct from the book, which sadly I can't remember because I've got that many. It was probably something by Ajahn Chah. No, that makes any difference if you're not interested in that kind of stuff. But then I had multiple prompts. So Buddhist saying, Buddhism, Buddha, 8K resolution. I'm going to leave that at 1. I'm going to bring this back down to 1. I'm going to leave everything at 1. Mystical world, hyperrealism, photorealistic, another prompt. In fact, I'm not going to leave them at 1. I'm going to move them around and see what I get. Buddhist temple covered with beautiful flowers. Strange prompt here. Lychee trees in the background fruiting ×2. I don't think the ×2 makes any difference, but just for an exact comparison. So what do we want? I want the temple. I want to see the temple, so I'm going to take that up to 2. The lychees would be cool. Put that to 1.5. Put the 2. Again, I can't remember who Les Edwards is. Les Edwards. Images. Right, it looks like old mystical demonology and planets and all sorts of stuff. So let's see if we can get it. So we'll put them up to 2. I'm going to put this up because I like these weird prompts. It doesn't really say anything, but I want to see. No, I'm just going to leave it at 1 first. Right, SDL, yep. Right, let's go. And I'll show you the original in a minute. Okay, so the original looked like this. I loved this. I thought it was a great image. Very Buddhist, very chilled, very relaxed. The new ones, however, look like this. Such a different composition. Now, again, in here, we've asked for the Buddhist temple to be prominent. Temple. So it's picked up on that for sure. It's also gone a bit mental. That is fantastic. I love that image. So is that. I've been somewhere that looks a bit like that. Wonderful image, but not very coherent. Yeah, pretty coherent. Wow. It's kind of made its own thing up there. But yeah, very cool. And very, pretty coherent. Coming up with what I want. Remember, I always use 16 images so I can get as many different options as possible, and then I would rebuild. But I've got one more example to show you. And because a big part of this for me is mental health, it's one of the reasons I use this stuff. I'm going to use a mental health prompt now. And it's just a one prompt. Twisted emotions, looking for a brain to release them from the pain. Small light in the dark, 8K resolution, sketchfab, polished poster art. And we'll just leave everything as is. Although I think I'm going to make this 16:9 this time, just to change it. So, this was the original one. This was one of the very first images I created on Nightcafe, and I've actually got it printed on a canvas and hanging in my hallway. So that's the original one for that post, but this is the SDXL 0.9. It's much more literal. Twisted emotions, looking for a brain, so it's picked up on brain. That one there is fantastic. That's how I feel sometimes. But they're all pretty good. They're pretty crazy. That's very interesting to me. So are they. But yeah, great. So as you can see, SDXL 0.9, it's more coherent, it's more detailed, it's better quality than SDXL beta, I would say. But again, just another positive for Nightcafe, another algorithm to play with. Awesomeness. Okay, I'll leave you guys with that. That's probably enough from me. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. And happy art history. Take it easy.